Taurus, this is your June 2022 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is a reading for you. We're going to give you some astrological dates of importance and give you some intuitive messages to help empower you as you move through the next few weeks. This is Romy. Thank you for taking the time to tune into my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. So we're into Gemini energy and we're going to open up your reading with the Hanged Man. So I have a feeling that it's about a big heartfelt review that's taking place for you this month, and it does herald a really significant turning point. Now, perhaps there's going to have to be on your part permission given to change your mind, or to just sort of open up to some alternative approaches or solutions to be able to navigate what's about to unfold or what's coming next. Now, of course, the Hanged Man sometimes can put us in a state of suspension. We have to inevitably surrender and let go of something. But really, this is also about the wake-up call, I think, that's coming through for you, that is helping you to kind of go deeper within yourself. And that journey of discovery is so vitally important so that you can make peace with something within yourself, okay? I think you've learned something the hard way recently, and you may be questioning everything, questioning yourself, the way that you responded, you know, what you're thinking about it right now. But there is a sort of spiritual escape that's coming for you. And I mean that in the most positive sense, not in a way of bypassing or disowning. It's about facing those fears and being able to find a way to neutralize and overcome, and not actually analyze things to the degree that you're actually unraveling the progress that you've made and the way in which it's changed you. So the thing to remember is that we have a whole lot of energy still in your sign that's going to be incredibly supportive through June. Mercury is going to go direct in your sign on the 3rd of the month, and it's working with you, Mercury, right up until the 13th. So even though we still have a little bit of shadow energy around, your thoughts are starting to come back into more of a semblance of order, just feeling like you can express and communicate how you feel more effectively, and really kind of coming back to a place where everything that you had to revisit, you understand had a tremendous purpose. We also have Venus in your sign right now, Taurus. So again, the way in which you are working with your natural ruler is helping support and facilitate some new discussions in some important relationships, including those romantic relationships in your life, but also the way in which you're handling and dealing with your money. Because in Gemini season, of course, we're working with your second house, which is talking about your material possessions, what you attribute value to, how you see value in yourself. Now we have the Page of Swords coming through here, so there's important expression and communication and news that needs to come through. And also what this indicates to me is anything that's been held up or held back for whatever reason is now having the opportunity to be aired and to be discussed and be brought into the light. Thing to remember here, Taurus, is that everybody has a motive, everybody has an agenda. Now usually that's coming from a place of fear, because the goals that we have, the things we're trying to achieve and what we feel motivated and driven by, is so that we can move away from an experience that we don't enjoy and move towards something that we feel is going to be better for us or elicit an improved environment or energy for us. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just about the absolute recognition and the truth that we need to have both with ourselves about what our own motive and agenda is in any given moment, and also then observing and witnessing that in the exchanges that you're having for other people. Because when you truly understand where they're coming from and why that is being such a significant expression of their energy, it can really I suppose it stops you from misunderstanding or misinterpreting or taking something deeply personally. And I think it's important when we're in Gemini season, and a lot of words can be spoken, and sometimes a little bit through exaggeration, sometimes a bit gossipy, sometimes in a sense of just saying anything to get out of something or to just kind of create a little bit of discord, that, you know, if you're not careful and you take that on and hold it as gospel, you hold it as true, then, you know, it can cause you all sorts of issues where we needn't have to actually go through that. Now, the Page of Swords is also telling me that there is a very important conversation you are going to be having. I want to draw your attention to the fact that around the 10th and the 11th of the month, Mercury in your sign is trining with Pluto, and then the next day Venus in your sign is conjunct with Uranus, also in your sign. So here we have this opportunity for some surprise announcements, discoveries. We have things showing up that can feel unexpected but very progressive for you. And this is where I want you to kind of really try to sit back and think about, you know, it's not just what we wish for, it's also what we work for. So the investment that you've been putting in towards certain areas of your life, even if you've failed to see any progress, because remember, struggling doesn't mean failing, Taurus. It just means that, you know, right now there's been some resistance, which may in fact be connected to the fact that you're going through a little bit of a spiritual test at the moment. But what we're seeing around that time, 10 of Cups, is the opportunity for you to readdress the things that are going to make you happy, whether you're on the right course. And if your heart is reluctant in any way, I think there's something that comes in around that 10th and the 11th, whether it's who you come into contact with, the conversation that takes place, something you see or hear, or that lands for you really powerfully. This is part of this bigger heartfelt review, and this contemplation throws up something for you that cannot be ignored, because it is directly connected into your sense of contentment, joy, what's going to satisfy and nourish you. And we just can't ignore that. We just simply cannot ignore that. Now, this month is overall about us trying to balance out our heart and our mind in Gemini season, okay? We're working with that mental plane, and Gemini energy, mutable in nature, spiraling upwards, which is fantastic for us to be able to connect into progressive, new ideas and approaches. Our creativity gets let up. We start to think about the future and all of the possibilities and permutations that that can bring. And of course, that brings in a sense of lightness and a desire to want to see things moving and quickly. That said, the kind of scattered nature of it can then feel like it's quite difficult to ground our energy. And what we have to keep in mind is that we're also going to be welcoming Saturn shifting retrograde in Aquarius on the 4th of the month. We also have Neptune going retrograde on the 28th. So here we do have the slowing down, and there's a requirement to revisit our commitments, review our boundaries, look at our long-term visions. Remember, in Gemini season, you need tactical choices in order to help facilitate that, but also this bigger issue around stripping away the illusions of things, okay? And even though Saturn, the disciplinarian, is about our relationship to the reality of things, yeah, it's a fine line, right? Because it's not always about what's realistic. It's also about what makes you feel alive. And here my King of Wands coming through with this fire energy is saying that, you know what, you might come up against the naysayers, you might come up against the challenges or the blocks that say this is never going to happen, time to quit while you're ahead, or time to give up, or what you're observing or seeing or witnessing in the general collective is suggesting that there's far too much fear or uncertainty or ambiguity to even consider investing or thinking that this could work or this could happen. But you know what, there's the past, which is all about our memories, and then there's the future, which is about the anticipation of something. But if you can be present with yourself this month, there's your peace, there's your power, there's your purpose, and there's what truly your higher self and your soul is telling you is right for you in this moment. We can never fully prepare for what is to come, but the King of Wands coming through here says that you have this amazing capacity in June to be able to kind of circumnavigate and rise up and just go, you know what, I'm just going to trust my gut. I'm just going to trust my gut right now, because there's just something telling me that this is the right way for me. This is how I have to do this. This is what I need to manage by way of my own response right now. If you can't stop thinking about it, if it's not leaving your side, if that desire is waking you up through the night constantly, something has to be allowed to move by way of the energy. And we've got Jupiter and Mars now in Aries, so that fire is motivating and driving us to take action in some regard. Now, yes, it's in your 12th house of deep release, so there's a surrender and a letting go for you. But at the same time, there's this just kind of moment of like lucid kind of clarification where I feel like you just wake up one day and you just go, okay, this is it. Like I'm just doing this against the odds, against the advice, against the opinion, against the general wave of whatever might be happening. So you can't be afraid, and it's that stubbornness of Taurus that's going to come in beautifully through the course of this month to really just give you that edge and courage and confidence to show up where you need to, okay? Now, we're then going to welcome a full moon in Sagittarius coming in on the 14th of the month. Okay, and the thing I need to remind you about is that it's really important as much as you can to understand yourself so that other people's misunderstandings of you do not cloud your reality, do not affect the way that you are deciding to move forward at the moment. Now, Four of Wands coming in, I love for you. We've got these two bears, which suggest to me that there's this lovely sense of sort of protective energy that's around you, but it also feels like they've just emerged out from hibernation, and we've got all of this blossoming and bloom that's coming in. So something is coming into its own. Something is saying to you, now it's my time. So you've been working on it. It's maybe how you feel about, yourself. And I really love that for you. It's bringing in more of a sense of stability. Now, in that second house, when we're looking at our sense of value consciousness, you've come through your solar returns. It's a time of integration now. It's like, okay, I'm different. I've changed significantly in this last 12 months. How am I going to tell people this? How am I going to show it? How am I going to express it? Because they're not going to know if you don't educate them, if you don't communicate and articulate that through your actions, through your words, especially in Gemini season. And of course, that impacts exactly on what you have around you. What is it that is no longer serving you? What are the things, what's the stuff that doesn't hold any value to you anymore, that's just full of skeletons from, old memories and experiences that just serve to give you more evidence of a time or a situation that actually you're not really vibing or resonating with, and even may hold, so much emotional energy that it's kind of holding you back anyway. So as part of the sort of healing cathartic process of June, there's a bit of a clearing detox around your personal possessions, I think, taking place as well. Again, so you can create space for new growth to come in and new balance to start to emerge in some area of your life. I think it's important. You've just got to keep showing up this month for the things that you want, and that includes your relationships, because if you are trying to educate somebody and you have been in that relationship for some time, or even somebody who doesn't know you and you're just starting to kind of embark on that interaction, it's about consistency. People learn through your consistent behavior. Trust is built through consistency. Truth comes from the ability to be able to hear that message and it to resonate and permeate in your being and your physical body over and over again until it feels like it's an extension of you. So in order to feel that for yourself and to help educate other people, you need to keep showing up and following through with what it is that you say you feel, or what you want, or what you believe, or the direction you want to move towards. That's going to make a huge difference in your experience for this month, okay? So during that full moon in Sagittarius, we'd want to be giving ourselves the opportunity to allow something to kind of take its natural course, is also what my guides are saying. So if you feel like something is ready to sort of come to a natural conclusion, or if it feels like it's ready to go to the next level, don't try and hold it up. Don't think to yourself, oh my goodness, this is the wrong time. I have a sense that you're going to be feeling it's the wrong time. Or maybe even somebody else is going to be trying to present or project that energy. It's not the right time. But everything about the energy naturally is going to be telling you it is the right time. So therefore, from that perspective, you can never fully be prepared. So you're going to have to unfold, you're going to have to unravel, you're going to have to let yourself come undone, as we do at these full moon energies. Especially if there's a bit of stress that's coming in relation to that. Just make sure you're doing it where you feel safe. It's important to have that sacred, safe space, is what the Four of Wands is also telling me. But you've got the Knight of Cups coming in here. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, water energy. Somebody who is able to hold space sensitively and have a really meaningful, important discussion with you. They may even have something interesting to offer you, something that gets proposed. Part of that could spark like some new ideas creatively for you, or just a vision that you have, and even help you to actually find ways to fall back in love with something. You know, you might feel like, oh, I have no time or space for that in my life anymore, and then you meet somebody or you cross paths with someone that is doing that thing, or, you know, says, gosh, you were so good at that, or, you know, why are you not doing that anymore? And it just seems to sort of reacquaint you with that beautiful inner sparks. I really like the energy of how that's coming through for you, because again, what we're doing here, remember, is trying to readdress those parts of our life where we've lost the joy, or we feel like we're pinched off from what makes us happy. Yeah. And again, that might be a withdrawal from things that feel materially kind of a little bit shallow, and going deeper into the self as you have this bigger heartfelt review of going like, what's truly important? Where do I need to be? Who do I need to surround myself with? And what can I not live without? You know, I think that Knight of Cups comes in and hopeless romantic energy, but also like he just doesn't give up. And, you know, I love that the sense of there's this kind of like, you know what, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. My heart is telling me I have to do this, so I'm going to do it. So that's what I want you to embody when we see the energy of this Knight coming through for you. I also think there's some really sweet messages on their way to you. I think you should get some recognition of the importance of your presence in people's life this month, and you probably need to hear that. You know, you might have been feeling a little bit like cast out or discarded or discredited in some area. Not from everybody, but it's amazing how just the influence of like one person can sort of dampen you know, so many things in terms of our own spirit. But again, this is your opportunity to step up and really kind of readdress that sense of value and how it's being put out into the world. Your Three of Pentacles, we've got the 3 eggs here in the nest, so ready to hatch, so something just ready to be in this amazing time of fertility to sort of be given birth to. And we've got all of these rainbow colours coming in here. So we've got the 3 turtles showing up as well, which suggests that there's something here not only that has a lot of wisdom coming in, but there's a sense of endurance with it. So it's got real longevity. Now, if it's connected into ideas or even to a fire sign, as we connect into that King of Wands energy here as well, or even what's derived from the proposal or the offer from the Knight of Cups, what we're looking at here is something that's incredibly generative and actually will be really good for you, because I think you need to channel yourself into something this month. There's a requirement to kind of feel useful and to feel like, okay, I need to see some progress for myself in one area or another. And I think as soon as you embark on that, even if you're feeling like held back or delayed in other areas, it doesn't mean that you have to stop and shut down with everything. There's definitely something being lit up here. And the opportunity to sort of collaborate or feel supportive energies coming in this level is super important. I think you're also going to have a situation where people have a lot to say. And that's great because it's helpful to sort of draw in different conclusions and sort of have inspiration of what different people's experiences are. That can help to validate in some regards, but not if it's trying to come from a place that says, oh, this is what you should do, or this was right for me, this is what I think is the best option for you. Because, you know, it's subtle and it's well-meaning, but it's still a little bit coercive and manipulative, because again, it's coming from motive and agenda. What makes them feel safe, what makes them feel valued because their opinion is being taken on. Yeah, so once we understand that's why somebody's saying something, not necessarily because it's true or even because it's the right thing for you. So recognize where that's coming up, especially in your very kind of close inner circle, and you're going to save yourself a lot of time, kind of almost like going off on a wild goose chase because somebody else thinks that this is the right way for you, and you know from the get-go that it isn't. Like, your intuition's going to tell you pretty strongly straight off the bat that that's not going to be right for you. So we're going to welcome the solstice energy this month, coming in on the 21st of June. Sun will shift into Cancer on the same day. Venus will trine Pluto. Again, this recognition, Venus in your sign, of some really important people just making themselves known to you around that date. And of course, it's a gorgeous time to recalibrate reconnect with ourselves. And there's something that's emerging from there. We've got this sacred, beautiful fire with the Three of Wands, butterflies shown here, very metamorphic, and the change that's taking place. I love these threes for you, Taurus. I think it is a time where you can trust and believe in some of the ideas that are forming for you about what the next right step is. If you feel you don't know, if you feel lost, if you feel stuck, if you feel like I can't find a way through or a way out of this, and you feel like you're overly plugged into the collective consciousness, which is trying to really start up again this narrative of fear and anxiety, and the nervous system is like just too overwhelmed, this is a time to go experiment. This is a time to be playful. This is a time to start thinking about, well, you know, if there were no expectations, if there were no obligations, if there were no sense of timing, or, you know, feeling like it's too late, or, you know, I can't fit it in, or I don't have the resources, like, where would you be? What would you want to do? And even if that direct option isn't available, there's something that still holds the essence of it. You know, it's like almost like saying, well, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be like away in Bali right now. So what is the soul saying to you? The soul's saying, actually, I just need a change of scene. I need different energy. I need to experience different cultures and taste different foods. I need to have conversations with different people. So, okay, I might not be able to get to Bali next week, but I could certainly just take myself away, you know, an hour from here, or just immerse myself into like different types of environments that are going to stimulate my senses in new ways. So look for the essence of what it is that you feel driven towards and compelled to consider. And that'll also give you a strong indication around solstice where you're being rebalanced in order to help the growth and actually your sense of kind of knowing what's right and true for you around that time as well. So we're going to then have Venus shifting out of your sign and into Gemini on the 22nd of the month. A little bit more flirtatious energy here where we don't want to get too committed. We want to have some fun and, again, experiment, play with the ideas, have a lot of open progressive communication. You have the Ten of Pentacles coming in here, so actually there's something that could be quite rooted in a place of it being worth your while. So if you feel something around 21st, 22nd that you're not sure if it's going to be worth it, every indication in this reading to say absolutely it will be. In fact, the fact that you've got two tens coming in here, strong family cards showing up here as well. So there may be some spark or some shift and change that feels very generative and progressive for you in family dynamics. But certainly around that time of the month, is it worth it? The answer is yes, it will be. Now we have the new moon in Cancer coming in on the 28th of the month. Same day as Neptune's going to go retrograde, okay? That's going to be a super sensitive time, and there's almost that sense of something coming to light or being given like news or information that kind of pulls the curtains back and gives us the cold hard like facts. That might feel a bit upheavaling and disruptive to your energy field. And it's difficult because sometimes Cancer can be a bit indirect, but then Neptune retrograde is just like pulling off the plaster and going, here you go. So it sort of like brings us down to earth with a bump. That said, your earth energy, I think you're such a realist, can kind of cope with that probably more readily than other signs. So I do think that you'll almost like take it on the chin. And again, like I'm saying to you, even though we have some of these energies that are trying to sort of make you stop and be like, well, what's realistic? I don't want you to come at from that place. You know, this is not about being like doing what you're told to do. It's about doing what you feel is the right thing to do. It's about nurturing your own strategy and your own approach. That's the only thing that's ever going to keep delivering that sense of expansion for you. Everything else is going to feel like you've been kind of coerced into. And yeah, you might get on board with it, but when we don't come at it willingly or from a place of feeling that it's the right time or the right idea for us, then we never really permanently allow the change, or we're never able to fully receive it. So we don't get the enjoyment, and we kind of rob ourselves of that experience of figuring out what the thing is. And it's hard because in any given situation, you know, you're going to be in relationships or situations, dynamics where people are always going to want something from you. and want you to change or want you to adapt or adopt what they're out in the same way that you may with others. So it's a fine balance, yeah. But there's something about asserting yourself this month that's very important, very important. And the supportive energy of some of these planets is kind of helping you, I think, to kind of figure something out. A new way forward, compass. I love this for you. It's about your sense of direction. It's about charting a new course. It's about feeling like you can find that kind of North Star moment. You actually have a little frog here as well, which I love because they bring in a very healing medicine, the frog energy. So not only are you finding a sense of purpose and direction, but you're also healing something in the process, okay? But that has to come from within you. This is not something that's being told to you. You have to unplug. Yeah, you have to unsubscribe, you have to check out, and you have to sit and have that big heartfelt review for yourself, because that's where the turning point comes. And it may be confusing, but what comes from that is this acceptance of being able to perhaps hold multiple truths, multiple perspectives, understand multiple parts of yourself, and actually, even though it may seem like incredulous, still find a way through that really serves you and the people around you, okay? So I think it's a real power statement coming in with the compass. I like that a lot for you. Okay, let's have a look at your astrology card. Remember, Cancer season is lighting up your third house. It's the way you think. It's the language that you choose to use, this inner narrative that you have. And again, it's about those short-term tactical decisions that you're going to be making in order to move forward. And here we have the sign of Cancer coming in for you. What do you need to immerse yourself into? Something that you just need to kind of go all in with for yourself. Yeah. I think there's also this kind of feeling of like being overly sentimental, and it's like the universe is kind of pushing you and driving you. It's like, let go, let go, let go, and you're like, yeah, but this means a lot, or this was a part of my life, or this is a memory, or this is an experience, or a person, or a thing that I don't really want to let go of. And it's like, question, what is it that I don't want to let go of? What is it that I'm afraid of? Because it may not even be about not wanting to let go of something. It may just be more about the stepping into the unknown. But remember, like, you know, wherever we are in life, we're always going to be making those moments that come in from the future with a sense of uncertainty. We don't get to understand all of the details and all of the minutiae of that. Yeah, but rather than being stuck, there is this big, bold sense of this heartfelt review and this turning point facilitating something where you're able to just be like, you know what, I'm betting on myself. That King of Wands for me is like speaking volumes about your ability to just trust and actually to be really like, just have a tremendous amount of ingenuity and resourcefulness through the course of this month. Like, even I think you're going to be dead hard on yourself actually, and then I think you're going to get to the end of the month and go like, be able to pat yourself on the back and go, wow, look at me, look what I just did. Okay, so we have this situation where oh, here, I want to show you my new Oracle deck, Life Soul Vision, okay, which is going to be out at the end of July. So, sorry, I got totally distracted there because I can hear my puppy at the door. Apologies. So yeah, this new Oracle deck is coming out at the end of July. So thank you if you have already invested in it. You can find all of the details and get a full preview of the deck over on my website, and the description and comment section underneath the video is going to give you the details for that. And you can get some early savings ahead of the general release and still a nice little surprise bonus gift if you're interested in pre-ordering. So can't wait to use this properly with you next month. Okay, so we have a general reading here for the month of June, Taurus. I'm just going to invite you to think about a personal question that might not have come up in the main spread, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple of personal cards for you, and we will cover them off in the extended reading, okay? So just think about that now for me. Now, if you're new to the channel, the extended reading, we talk for another 25 minutes or so. You're going to get the link again underneath the description box, comment section. And it's a way to support my work so I can keep showing up to deliver the free content. And it really is very appreciated if the reading is resonating. So we have the energy of strength and the Three of Pentacles. So I'm just clarifying this main spread for additional messages for the extended reading. Okay, so we're looking at the Page of Swords and the Seven of Wands. We have the energy of the Fool and the Star. Beautiful. Okay, Ten of Cups is bringing in the Ace of Pentacles for us. Again, all the decks that I use, Taurus, they're in the description box underneath if that's of interest. We've got Four of Pentacles, and we've got the Knight of Wands coming in as well. Beautiful. Look at that Magician crossing the King of Wands. You can make it happen. There is our turning point. Okay, a couple of fives showing up there. We've also got more water energy with the Queen of Cups. Seven of Pentacles. Okay, lots of fives. Definitely think there's a few challenges and tests that are being placed in your path, but you know what? They're kind of like minor irritations. They feel kind of insignificant. It's not anything that I'm like really concerned about for you. They will deliver clarification, that's for sure. Hierophant is your card. We have the Hermit coming in. Four of Wands. Nine of Cups. And the Eight of Wands. Beautiful. Okay, Taurus, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're joining me for the extended, I will see you there. And you have a beautiful month ahead, okay? You take care.